Okay, in this tutorial we're going to continue with the cap. We're going to go ahead and make these little grips on the cap that are going to actually be 24 of them around the cap. You can notice how they're nice and smooth with the angled top. So that's going to be an extrude feature. We're going to start from the bottom of the cap and extrude that one little grip up. And so you can see where they're selecting that surface. They find the edge of the cap here, draw a circle, make it a diameter of 4. You're going to extrude it to selected point, curve, or surface, which is right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go back to our drawing, and we're going to go extrude, and we're going to go ahead and orbit around and look underneath here and say, I want to draw on that flat surface right there. And then sketch view. That's very important. Sketch view is going to confirm that you clicked what you think you clicked on. And then go ahead and zoom in over here. Now, you may have to set a reference here on the outside edge. So let's go ahead and right click for a couple seconds. References, and find that edge right here. And now when you draw this circle in, it's going to be a little bit more accurate. Okay, now I'm going to deviate from the instructions just a little bit here because I think I've got a better way. If you close it from the top center point to the bottom center point, I feel like you've got a little gap that's built in between the actual cap and the grip itself. So what I would recommend you do is just close it back in here where you know you're well into the cap material. And then you can go ahead and delete segment. Oop, my line didn't stay. So let's redraw this here. So it doesn't matter where you put this back here as long as it's into the cap itself. So go ahead and delete segment back here. And delete segment back here. So we've got this grip that's well into our cap. I didn't divide it down the middle like the instructions say. And once you've got that, and you can see we're drawing on the bottom surface, we're going to go ahead and accept that two-dimensional drawing. And we're going to make this a height of, and you might think, oh, just make it 10. Well, if you make it 10, though, the thing is that it's not going to be angled at the same angle as the actual cap top. We don't want that flat on the top of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pull it in the correct direction. And there's a new tool over here in the pull down menu. We're going to select the very bottom one that's got a little red line on it, and that is selected or extrude to selected point, curve, plane, or surface. When I click that, it does disappear. Don't worry. And then we're going to bring it all the way up to this angled surface right there. And you can see when I click on that surface, brings your extrude up to there and angles it. That's good. Okay. Now I want to have you learn how to go back and change sizes of different things. So I want to go back to this extrude and click this little arrow right here. Here's my original 2D drawing on the grip. Right click it, edit definition, and I'm just going to check that I actually made this 4. For a minute there I was like, okay, did I make it the right size? And yes, I did. But if it wasn't, you could actually change that number right here now to the correct size. So that's how you go back and fix things. The next step is to actually do a pattern. This is a cool tool where you can actually pattern this little grip all the way around. Luckily, you don't have to do that grip 23 more individual times, and that's what the PDF gets into. There is a few little steps here that are kind of tricky, but once you catch on to this and you've done it a couple times, it's really a cool tool that allows you to do a lot of neat things. So first thing is, what are you going to pattern? Well, we're going to pattern this grip. Well, this grip is called Extrude 1 over here. So go over to the left and say, okay, right click on Extrude 1 and go ahead and pattern this. There's different kinds of patterns. So there's dimensional patterns, there's directional patterns, like buttons on a keyboard if you wanted a bunch of buttons. There's a fill pattern, like if you wanted 1,000 little extrudes inside of a shape. So a lot of complicated things you can do with this. We're going to do actually an axis pattern, which means spin it around an axis. Now what it wants to know now is, what axis do you want to spin it around? Well, there should be an axis on your drawing going down through the middle of the cap. Now if that's not displayed, it's because your display tool is actually turned off the axis display. So go ahead and make sure all these things are turned on here, and then you can select the axis you want to spin around. Now you can see, oh, something's happening now. You got to come up here and click set the angular extent of the pattern, which means we're going to go ahead and go 360 degrees around the cap, and then the number of copies. So we're going to go 24, enter, and you can see, Oh, it's going to make 24 little copies around that axis. And when you accept it, there you go. There's all your little grips. And it patterns it all the way around there. Okay, we got the lip done, got the grips done, everything's good. You can color it now. And let's just go in and find something like that. Color that red. Hit OK. Don't forget to save it. Remember, it's going to save where you set your working directory as what you called it. And click OK. And then in our next tutorial, we're going to assemble this thing together.